What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. Back at it again with another banger, my friends. Y'all know the vibes. Kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me. Joining this live on Super Bowl Sunday, man. We just saw South Carolina's 57-game win streak in the SEC come to an end. I told y'all, man, it is hard to beat a team twice. Madison Booker and Oldacre get their revenge against Coach Don Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Major upset, man. I'm not going to say major upset. I don't want to overreact like that. It's not a major upset. Texas was a great team, and they outplayed South Carolina tonight. Or today, I should say, man. So that was an absolute war, y'all. That was an absolute war on the court, man. Salute to both teams. That was an absolute war on the glass, in the paint. Like, they fought for every damn bucket, man. South Carolina 57-game win streak comes to an end. They met their match tonight. They absolutely met their match tonight. Everybody, welcome in, welcome in. Guys, if this is your first time, welcome into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. South Carolina 57-game win streak just came to an end, man. What a game. What a game. What a performance. A gutsy performance by Texas. Gotta salute them. Gotta salute South Carolina as well. Hard fought game. Lived up to the effort, lived up to the billing, lived up to the hype. But guys, it is hard to beat a team twice, especially a team as talented as Texas. Man, what a game. What a game. What a game. This is what SEC basketball is all about. Physical, toughness, going down to the wire, possession by possession, just fighting for every bucket, man. And South Carolina had to lose eventually. This team is battle tested. I think it got to the point where, they had won 17 straight. It felt like, oh man, like this team was never going to lose again. And Texas came out, played some bully ball, dominated the paint scoring, beat South Carolina at their own game, honestly, man, and pulled away with this win. This is a team and two coaches, and Don Staley and Vic Schaefer, that are very familiar with one another. And honestly, man, I got to shout out Oldacre, man. She was huge in this contest. The size, the physicality, they should have went to her early, man. But her, Madison Booker, also came back strong after a very ugly shooting first game against South Carolina. Madison Booker came back and gets her revenge, y'all. Salute to them. Salute to Texas. Nicole, welcome in, welcome in. I'm surprised they only lost by 4 points because the refs took control. The refs were absolutely atrocious. I'm not going to sit here on this live and completely blame the refs for that loss for South Carolina, but honestly, the refs were bad, man. I think it kept killing the momentum of the game. Is what really was like blowing me, bro. Like, man, there were so many fouls that I think it kind of contributed to the lack of offense for both teams. It was a really slow, methodical defensive game. Coach Go, solid win by Texas. They played with urgency, and now the SEC is officially up for grabs. The SEC is officially up for grabs now. All the top teams have at least one loss. The SEC is completely up for grabs right now. The SEC is up for grabs. It's anybody. Kentucky, South Carolina, LSU, Texas, all of them with one loss in the SEC, bro. The SEC just got absolutely crazy. But I just got to salute Texas, man. This was a very, physical game for them. They out-rebounded South Carolina. They fought hard. They won the 50-50 balls. They played with more urgency. Let's be honest. Call a spade a spade. They played with more urgency than South Carolina. It felt like Texas came out with something to prove. They had a message, and it was absolutely delivered, without a doubt. Like, salute to South Carolina. It was a hard-fought effort. Winning 57 games straight is nothing to just shrug your shoulders about. Salute to them, but all great things come to an end, and this win streak did just that, man. The South Carolina kryptonite Kyla Oldacre, oh my goodness. She was just so big, so physical in this contest, man. Like, Texas really dominated in the paint. They continued to crash the glass. They got it inside to their bigs. Taylor Jones was good in this game as well. I mean, the offensive rebounds for Texas was a big difference. Missed free throws for both teams were a big difference in this contest as well. Man, and I gotta get the stats for you fine folks as well. Let me see. Solid, yep, solid win from Texas. Definitely, man, definitely. I'm not blaming the refs for the loss, but it was a major disruption. I do agree. The refs definitely disrupted the flow of the game, man. That was a big difference. I absolutely agree with that. For both sides, like, it was just a really like sloppy, drawn out game, man. Way too many fouls. It felt like there were a lot of clean blocks that got called fouls on both sides. For sure, no one could get into a rhythm. It was a start and stop. Agreed. Agree. Absolutely agree with you there. Absolutely agree with you there. Like, it was tough for both teams to really solidify any type of rhythm in this game. It would have definitely been way more high scoring and fast paced, I think, without the fouls. The refs were doing a little too much. I do agree, but Texas deserves all of the credit, man. Like, they came out, they executed their game plan. They knew they had to be tough, they had to be physical and push through. They took South Carolina's best punches and kept on punching themselves, man. And it was just a gutsy performance. It really was. And it shows you that the SEC got a lot tougher from last season. The SEC got a lot tougher. This is not a cakewalk. Nothing in this league is guaranteed. Man, what a game. What a game, what a game, what a game. And guys, give me your initial takeaways, man. Like, honestly, like I said, the game was won in the paint. It was won on the glass. The game was absolutely won on the paint, on the glass. Second chance opportunities, offensive rebounds. South Carolina did not get enough of them, man. We did not see that same efficiency on the glass that we saw when they played Georgia and when we saw against a lot of these other teams. Shout out to Coach Vic Schaefer, coaching an excellent game, keeping his team motivated, and they come away with the win, man. It was still a tough shooting night for a lot of Texas players, including Madison Booker, who finished with 20 points. And it was a really rough shooting night for Rory Harmon, man. She really didn't offer up a whole lot in this game. I was kind of disappointed, I ain't gonna lie. But other than that, like, bro, the supporting cast, I like what we saw from the freshman Jordan Lee. Y'all can see Texas took the dub 66-62. Like, it was a total team effort. Texas just made some big shots. They can't shoot a three to save their life. That's for sure. And I think, man, South Carolina had them in trouble when they shrunk the floor, went into that zone, and forced Texas to shoot it. They got away from that. Texas did a good job with the handoffs, the ball reversals, and just making a conscious effort to really pound the paint inside. The foul trouble on Sanaya Fagan definitely hurt South Carolina. You could tell, like, the difference maker she is on both sides of the floor. She could not stay on the court, though, man. And they really needed her to guard Oldacre, too, because she was punishing Chloe Kitts and Joyce Edwards down there. Just sheer size, man. Sheer size. She was too much. I mean, you got a 6'4" post player with a 6'10" wingspan, and she used every inch against South Carolina. My gosh. They couldn't keep her off the glass, man. She was South Carolina's kryptonite. And that's why I put her on the thumbnail. She was definitely South Carolina's kryptonite. And you can see some of the numbers right there, kind of just getting into the stats a little bit there. Oh yeah, hey man, if we get, I hope we get a round three. Bam, I hope we get a round three. I really hope we get a round three because that is going to feed families, man. Texas, a very worthy opponent. Looking at the breakdown, they win it 66-62. They hold South Carolina to 36.8% from the field, while Texas shot 44.1% from the field. Texas went 0 of 4 from three. They won this game and did not make a three-pointer. The free throws were crazy though, man. South Carolina went 15 of 23 from the free throw line. Texas went 14 of 21. Both of them shot 70 under 70% from the free throw line. On the rebounding side, man, 42 rebounds for both squads. You look at Texas though, man, the offensive rebounds 16, defensive rebounds 28. South Carolina actually won the offensive rebounding battle. But Texas really, I think, made the most of their extra possessions. The assist battle was close. The turnovers was even. Texas had 9 steals. But look at the fouls, bro. There were, and I'm not blaming the refs for anything, but 38 fouls. 38 fouls called in this contest. 38 fouls. I'm just saying, man. Like, that's a bit ridiculous. Like, that's a lot of fouls. 38 fouls? That's insane. Like the whistles were not staying in the pockets today. And you see what's going on with the individual stats. Malaysia Fulwali also suffered a stinger, went out of this game for a little bit. I think that kind of hurt the momentum for them as well for South Carolina. But looking at it, man, leading the way, Malaysia Fulwali had 13 points off the bench, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Tessa Johnson and Tahina Pow Pow, as well as Breezy Hall from three, hit some really big shots for South Carolina to keep them in this contest. Raven Johnson, 1 point, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. It was a tough shooting night for South Carolina. Absolutely, like brutal, brutal, brutal shooting night for them. Chloe Kitts, I think, was aggressive in the first half and kind of fizzled out and disappeared. You want to see her be more aggressive on both sides of the basketball. But Malaysia Fulwali, the only South Carolina player that scored in double digits. So take that as what you will, man. On the other side, Texas's stars stepped up. Texas's stars absolutely stepped up in this contest for sure. Madison Booker, 20 points, 3 assists, 11 rebounds. Still not an efficient shooting night for her, but definitely much improved. Like, you're not going to hold a player like Madison Booker down 2 games straight. Breezy Hall did the best she could on Booker. I think Booker did a great job of using her size advantage in the post and posting up Breezy Hall. Also, in that pick and roll, man, I think they were way more efficient in the pick and roll as well, creating space for themselves. As Texas is not a good shooting team, man, but they definitely got everything they wanted in the paint tonight. And you wonder, like, this could have been a game for Tack to maybe get some more minutes, or Walker, like, to really use their size to try to match up on Oldacre. Because she was a big difference maker in this game as well, man. Oldacre had 13 points, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. And to be honest, she gave South Carolina hell the last time these two teams played as well, man. I love the defense from Shea Holly as well as Jordan Lee in the backcourt. Militanda was really good, 8 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds, sparking off the bench. Like, Texas got some really good minutes from their reserves. And I mean, just imagine, man, Texas is still without Layla Filia, who will be out for the season with that eye surgery. Like, that's 18 point per game score they were missing last year. So, that's just another thing to consider, man. But this was a big win for Texas. I think Texas needed this win more than South Carolina did, and they just came out with more urgency. Absolutely, came out with more urgency. Give me y'all some of y'all's initial takeaways from this contest. Holler at me in the chat. Holler at me in the chat. And if this is your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share. Join our memberships. We got that exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Oh, Nuke, you missed the game. Bro, this was a dogfight. Right before Super Bowl 2, man, this was an absolute dogfight. We got another one on the horizon as well with, Tennessee and LSU playing as well right now. So that'll be a good game as well, man. But South Carolina, man, like this was a tough game for them. They got outclassed. They got beat at their own game, man. Texas was more physical. They were the aggressor. They came out and set the tone early. South Carolina never really led in this game. Like Texas just took every punch they were throwing and kept punching back. Just man, Texas showed some serious fight today, man. Like the SEC is not a cakewalk this season. The SEC is absolutely not a cakewalk. The league got much tougher with the additions of Texas and Oklahoma. This was a win we needed to see from Texas to see if they really were one of the top four teams in the country, and they proved it. They proved it. Texas is absolutely a tier one team in the SEC. They are the biggest challenge to South Carolina, which I said at the beginning of the season. We saw the real Texas tonight, man. They came out with a game plan. Coach Vic Schaefer tired of getting his butt whooped by Don Staley at multiple schools. And he came in with a game plan and they executed. They were Texas tough tonight. A salute to Madison Booker not getting down on herself, playing through disruptions, playing through that South Carolina defensive pressure, pushing forward. And, man, she, 20 points, 11 rebounds, got the double-double. Malaysia Full Wiley, the only player for South Carolina that got double figures this season. Or double figures this season, double figures in this game. Ethan, welcome in, welcome in. Kyla Oldacre was the X Factor, even though the numbers might not show it on the stat sheet. My ladies didn't have an answer for her. Yes, she was South Carolina's kryptonite tonight. Oldacre's size, 6'4", big body, 6'10" wingspan, blocking shots, grabbing rebounds, like her position in the post. Even when, and I agree with that, Ethan, because even when she was not blocking shots, she was bothering shots. She was taking up a lot of space in the paint and definitely shrunk the court, shrunk that lane. She came up with the big steal as well. That came up with that bucket, like strong hands, mobile. Yeah, Oldacre was a big difference in this contest. I mean, the Miami transfer came out. She gave South Carolina problems last time as well, man. Like through 2 games, South Carolina has not had an answer for her whatsoever. South Carolina has not had an answer for Oldacre, man. Sanaya Fagan, the foul trouble definitely hurt them. Maybe they could have used the Del Tack more. Maybe they could have used Walker more. I'm not here to tell Coach Don Staley by any means what lineups to put out there or, coaching decisions. I'm not saying that, but just something to think about, man. They could have went bigger. South Carolina stayed small, and Oldacre and Taylor Jones ate them up. RC, my guy, welcome back, welcome back. How we feeling after this contest, man? Give me y'all's initial takeaways. How are y'all feeling? What did we learn? Yeah, she did her best Lauren Betts impression tonight. Oldacre did her best Lauren Betts impression tonight, and she was absolutely the X factor for this team. Man, her size on both sides, grabbing rebounds. Like, to be honest, it felt like she had about 15 rebounds. She only had 6. It felt like she had about 15, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, stuff she was doing will not show up in the box score, and you won't be able to really appreciate it unless you truly watch the game. But Oldacre was a major difference maker for this team, for sure, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Major, major addition for this team. And I think they could have fed her even more. Like, she gave Chloe Kitts work down low, like Joyce Edwards, like the young freshman. South Carolina had nobody to body up on her with Sanaya Fagan on the bench, man. The SEC is up for grabs now. The SEC is absolutely up for grabs. Yeah, this was a game definitely. Camila Cardoso, this is where you miss her in a game like this. Facts. Facts. This is absolutely a game where you miss a Camila Cardoso, without a doubt. Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. My Lady Gamecock struggled at the charity stripe, giving away 8 points. Yeah, both teams shot the free throws extremely awful tonight. Like both teams were under 70% from the field. I think the glass was the difference. Texas staying aggressive, getting the paint touches because Texas didn't make a three. Like they're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country. They didn't make a three. But they stuck to their guns and kept attacking the paint, getting paint touches, getting fouls, being physical, and it paid off for them. It absolutely paid off for them. Does the short and spot rotations hurt or help? Yeah, that's the thing. That's a great question. That's a great question. Most nights, I think it helps them because these players come off the bench ready. They don't need much time to establish a rhythm. Tonight, it wasn't the answer. It was not the answer. There were a lot of players that got minutes for South Carolina tonight that didn't really bring anything to the table. I would have loved to see Chloe Kitts be more aggressive, hunting her own shot in this game, though. This was a game where Chloe Kitts really could have, I think, taken advantage of the Texas front court with her shot making ability, her ability to create off the dribble. Like we did not see that. I think Tahina Powell took some really tough shots at big moments in the game. Like she took some very questionable shots, in my opinion. I think Tessa Johnson and Breezy Hall did a good job of shooting the basketball coming off the bench. Raven Johnson, exceptional job passing the ball in the first half. Kind of got slowed down in the second half. The transition points were limited more so in the second half. Like Texas did a good job of making shots and slowing down South Carolina, one of the best transition teams in the country. Texas also only had 10 turnovers, so you are also limiting transition points when you're not turning the basketball over. And South Carolina had some crucial turnovers down the stretch as well, man. Yeah, Tennessee and LSU is definitely going to be a dogfight. Y'all know I'm going to have content on that as well. And, bro, I don't know if y'all saw, we got the news too, man. We got the news that Lauren Betts is coming back to UCLA to play with her little sister, Sienna Betts. Major news RC for your ladies in UCLA, man. Lauren Betts, arguably, if not Hannah Hidalgo, the player of the year this year, averaging a double-double. Like, that is going to be a huge, huge addition to get UCLA back in the national title contention, man. This is a team that has a chance. I don't want to speak too soon, but they could be winning back-to-back championships, man, with the return of Lauren Betts. Huge, huge news. Arguably the best upperclassman in women's college hoops has made the decision to come back for her senior year. And this is crazy, too, because Betts is projected as a top 5 WNBA draft pick. So this is major. What's killing my ladies is the absence of Ashlyn Watkins. South Carolina, yeah. This is a game where you miss Camila Cardoso. This is a game where you absolutely miss Ashlyn Watkins' length, her athletic ability, her size, her aggressiveness. Like, let's not forget, Ashlyn Watkins was the enforcer for this team, and especially defensively. With her length would have been really good on Oldacre. Her speed, her length, her physical nature, her athletic ability, being up at a beat Oldacre up and down the court. Like Ashlyn Watkins' defensive presence is absolutely missed by this team. And I remember when she went down, a lot of South Carolina fans, I feel like, I don't want to generalize, but just from my experience, and what I was seeing in my chats and comments and stuff like that on videos, like people were kind of like shrugging that injury off, like, we'll be all right. We ain't sweating it. We got all these other front court players, but they don't do what Ashley Watkins does. So great point there, man. I definitely think this is a game where they miss Ashley Watkins for sure. Ashley Watkins is really good, but y'all had won like how many 10 straight without her? Yeah, and I mean with South Carolina, I think with their depth, it's also about matching up, like matchups, playing positional and situational basketball. This was a matchup where they definitely could have used Ashlyn Watkins. Yeah, Kelso, Sienna Betts, 5-star recruit, one of the best bigs coming in next year, is going to UCLA. And I mean, if Janiah Barker does come back, it's going to either be her or Tamia Gardner that's losing minutes. So that'll definitely be something to see. But I think this is a prime opportunity for Janiah Barker to go to the WNBA draft. I think she's a first round pick. I think she's shown enough with developing her offense, extending her range, showing her versatility, being able to guard multiple spots. Like I think her basketball, her best basketball, is definitely ahead of her. And if I'm Janiah Barker, I'm definitely heading to the league. But man, this is huge news for UCLA. Huge, huge news. It seems like she's set on playing with her little sister. I mean, that seems like where the motivation is mostly coming from. Is her wanting to play with her little sister. So I think win, lose or draw RC, I think Lauren Betts will be in a Bruins jersey next season, regardless of what happens. It's either she's going to be hunting for that first one or looking to defend that first one. Yeah, that definitely seems like the motivation. Her wanting to play with her sister, for sure, for sure. Yeah, most definitely. I would agree with that. But that I mean that's huge news though. That is big news. Arguably the best big in college basketball, projected top 5 pick in the WNBA draft this year, deciding to come back for another year of college. They get to keep that quarterback for another year, man. When you think about Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice and Tamia Gardner and Dugalich and Gabriela Jaquez, like there's a lot of talent. Yeah, Miriam Gauda has, for lack of a nice way to say it, she's definitely still trying to find her way at South Carolina, it feels like, for sure, and find her role within this team. I thought that she was going to be an exceptional addition and a potential X factor for this team, but we really have not seen that. We have not seen it. We've not seen the 3-point shooting that we saw her being aggressive. She gave South Carolina problems when she played against them, but yeah, she's been a non-factor. And I'm not saying it's time to pull the plug, but sometimes it don't always work out. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. UCLA is absolutely stacked, bringing in more talent. They already have a very strong core. They look like, I mean, if this showed us anything as well, seems like UCLA is still the top dog in the NCAA. Like this is the best team in women's college hoops right now, and they're proving it on a nightly basis in a gauntlet of a conference of their own in the Big Ten. Man, that UCLA USC game is gonna definitely show us a lot about both teams. But yeah, love Kiki Rice, love the freshman from Finland as well. Like she's talented. Um, love Gabriela Jaquez, like the length that UCLA has at every position, the versatility. They really don't have any weaknesses, to be honest. But how are y'all? I mean, this game doesn't have me looking at South Carolina any different. They're going to be the regardless of what happens. They're going to be the most battle tested team in the entire country. But something to keep an eye on now, that matchup with Kentucky just got a lot bigger for SEC standard states. You got a 4-place tie right now. You got UCLA, or excuse me, you got South Carolina, you got Texas, you got LSU, and you got Kentucky. Kentucky and Texas, one loss right now. LSU trying to hold on and beat Tennessee, so this game will decide a lot too. But man, that Kentucky game just got a whole lot bigger for South Carolina. I know they got UConn coming up next Sunday, and that's going to be the focus. But I'm just saying, King Swami, welcome in, welcome in. Absolutely. I mean, Sanaya Fagan battling foul trouble changed the entire trajectory of this game. You can see it. They were building momentum. South Carolina was on a run. They had the momentum when Sanaya Fagan came in. She got that third foul, had to go out, and Taylor Jones and Oldacre went to work. Absolutely went to work. But again, that's where not having Ashlyn Watkins really hurts them, in my opinion. Yo, Brandon, SC has some really good, really top-notch talent, but they should allow for players to step up occasionally and show out. I could be wrong, but I think the rotations are sometimes stagnant. Yeah, and it's like it's cool when you never know whose night it's gonna be because you can't key in on one player. But it's also like who's gonna be your go-to scorer when you need a bucket late. Is it gonna be Fool Wiley? Is it gonna be Kids? Is it gonna be Fagan? Is it gonna be Pow Pow? Like who's going to be the closer on this team? Every team needs an alpha, no matter who you are. UCLA hasn't played anyone tough outside of Connecticut. I mean, they beat Maryland, which was a really good team. Their strength of schedule is weak. I'd like to see them take on a schedule like South Carolina. Fair point, valid point. You can only play who's on this schedule, but valid point. UCLA's non-conference schedule was way weaker than South Carolina's, but they have dominated pretty much everybody they've played ranked-wise. I think their last top 10 matchup was against Maryland, which is a really good team too. But yeah, South Carolina definitely the most battle tested team in the country, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But the Big Ten is hands down, in my opinion, the second best conference in women's college hoops, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They've got their gauntlet of their own. If anybody cares, LSU up 35-32 over Tennessee right now. Hey man, we might have to do another live after this game too, man. I know it's gonna be cutting it close to the Super Bowl though, so we'll see. But I think we learned a lot from both teams about this game, man. From this game, we learned a lot about both teams. Texas is a legitimate title threat. The SEC is no longer a cakewalk. Absolutely agreed. You gotta lose sometimes. They hadn't lost the SEC game since 2021. That is insane. But this was also their first time going to Texas as an SEC opponent. So Texas came ready to play, man. The refs were trash. I do agree with that. And they kind of robbed us of what could have easily been game of the year. But Texas deserves all the credit as well, man. They took care of the basketball. They executed. They guarded. They played defense. They won the 50-50 battles. And they walk away with the win on their home court. Man, South Carolina fan, there's some students at South Carolina that have been there almost 3 years, or have been there. There's people that students and players that have been at South Carolina for 3 or more years that have never seen them lose a SEC game. Put that into fruition, bro. Like that is insane. Yeah, I mean these could both be Final Four teams. These definitely could both be Final Four teams. I like Texas a lot. I like Notre Dame. I like Texas more than UConn. Like if I had, I like Texas more than UCLA. Or not, excuse me. I like Texas more than LSU, I meant to say. I believe their championship pedigree is tried and true unless they start free falling and lose back to back or something. Hey man, that's a great question. It's a lot of people that felt like Sanaya Fagan and Breezy Hall shouldn't be in the starting lineup. I do think Sanaya Fagan has really stepped up. they've kind of frozen Joyce Edwards out the last couple of games, but she went like 4 or 5 today. Like if Joyce gets more shots, maybe this does take another fall, like another turn. I think for me, man, I want to see Chloe Kitts be more aggressive, or if she's gonna continue to be passive, then you gotta go to what was working, Joyce Edwards and Sanaya Fagan. Because this was a game Chloe Kitts could have definitely had a huge impact. I think she had a mismatch a few times and really didn't take advantage. I'm just saying. I definitely like she started out as the alpha for this team, and then we just have not seen it. Madison Booker was 9 for 30. Like it was still a terrible shooting game for her. They still made things very difficult for her. That's an Allen Iverson, Carmelo Anthony stat line if I ever seen it. Madison is a gun, but she did enough today to bring it home. Yeah, that was the thing. I still think they did an incredible job of guarding her, but she just was really aggressive getting to the free throw line. But yeah, I mean, Full Wiley, Tessa, Joyce have proven they are absolutely three of the best players on this team, and they're ready to go right now. Like they don't need any training wheels. Like they're ready to go right now. Some of these veterans, are necessary. Like Raven Johnson has been the glue for this team. Hasn't been as productive in the past though. As in the past, in my opinion, but she's still been a really good player for them, especially defensively. She impacts the game in ways you don't see in the box score. Breezy Hall has been a really down year for her, but she did an incredible job defensively as well against Madison Booker tonight. But the upperclassmen like Chloe Kitts didn't do a whole lot. Like no, like you know what I'm saying? Like you kind of got to give more. You got to get more from the upperclassmen, in my opinion, or let the young guns get some more minutes. I think this may have proved it though that there might need to be a shift in minutes, where some of these veterans get less minutes and they kind of shift to some of these younger players that are playing more aggressive, that are playing hungrier, that are more skilled all around players. Might be that time. Might be that time. And you know what that means, right? From a Bruins perspective. What's that? What's that? Holler at me, RC. And guys, if this is your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share. Join our memberships. We got exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. And follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV. This means even if we lose a game, my Bruins, like we say we did lose to USC, what this means is we're likely to retain the number one spot no matter what. Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. With this loss, it definitely feels like UCLA has solidified themselves as the number one overall seed. Yeah, absolutely, Kelso. I agree. I do not see any scenario where UConn is the number one seed. Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely would agree with that. The Big East is not doing them any favors, and when you lose to Notre Dame, definitely probably going to lose to South Carolina. Got beat up by Tennessee. Yeah, playing in the Big East definitely doing UConn no favors. Not you calling Coach Kim Caldwell a neglected mom. Not a neglectful parent. That's crazy. Bro, having a kid mid-season is wild. But she did say she taking some paternity leave after the season. So, but yeah, that's crazy. Say she ain't never at home. What a game, though. Honestly, what a game. That thing went down to the wire. I felt like in my soul South Carolina was going to come back when they cut it to like 1 point. They tied it up. Like they was scratching and clawing back into this game. But shout out to Texas, man. Don't mess with Texas. They held it down. They absolutely held it down. Like nothing but a salute to them. Salute to them. They held it down. They took South Carolina's best punches. Absolutely got to give it to them. Coach Kim Caldwell building something special at Tennessee. I'll tell you that right now. And UCLA got Oregon. Deja Kelly, shout out, former North Carolina Tar Heel. But it's crazy, man. London Jones, Mia Gardner, Dudley out there getting it done. Lauren Betts giving out straight work. But like UCLA, it feel like everybody on the team like 6'2" and taller. Like they got so much size. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a combination of all of that. To be honest with you, I think for one, the Old Acre definitely gave them all types of problems. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well, missed a lot of bunnies, and I think that was due to the length and the size of Texas. They didn't win the 50-50 balls. Nobody really established a rhythm in this game. I think Tahina Pow Pow took a lot of tough shots. Malaysia Fawali was really the only one being aggressive. Raven Johnson had some nice assists, played good defense, but wasn't really a true factor in this contest. It felt like, yeah. No, I know London Jones is short. She like 5'6", but everybody else like 6'2". It feel like, but yeah, I like that hurts too. I think Texas just came in and played their game. They beat South Carolina at their own game. They did execute down the stretch, and we saw what happened. We saw what happened. You got to get rebounds. Nobody is going to be backing down from you in this game. Like you're going to get everybody's best shot. Yo, yeah, that rebound where Raven Johnson went up and snatched that joint with one hand. They just need her to score a little bit. Like Raven Johnson does so much well defensively. She is a great, like she's an elite rebound. She's one of the best rebounding point guards in the country. Man, and like they were getting fast breaks in the first half. Like, bro, Raven Johnson was out there quarterbacking, dishing that rock. Like, and I think Texas just did a good job of taking care of the basketball and not committing turnovers and limiting South Carolina's transition points. There were a lot of missed shots for South Carolina. Like I said, Malaysia Wiley was the only player for South Carolina that scored in double digits in this contest as well. Like nobody else really stepped up offensively. And I think the foul trouble hurt them a lot too, especially with Sanaya Fagan, because she was dishing, she was playing good defense. Like that was their biggest size in the middle in my opinion, like when Sanaya Fagan went out of this contest with that third foul, it kind of sucked the wind out of South Carolina, in my opinion. Yeah, I could see that. I could see the Rondo comparison. She just got to get that floater like Rondo, though, man. Rondo was an elite finisher at the cup. He just couldn't really shoot. Raven had a couple of open looks from three that we saw didn't fall. Um, I think Breezy Hall was one of the bright spots. Like she played some big minutes. She did her big win on Madison Booker as far as forcing her in the tough shots. But when you can 20 points off 30 shots, you gotta take that. You gotta take that. I think Raven Johnson did a really good job on Rory Harmon just locking her up though, pressuring the basketball. But yeah, man, they just didn't get a whole lot of production from other players though that came into this contest, man. I mean, looking at the breakdown right there, you can see it. You know, but we've seen them be carried by Joyce Edwards, Sanaya Fagan, Chloe Kitts. Like looking at the bigs, Joyce Edwards had 9 points. Joyce Edwards went 4 or 5. They should have been doing more to get Joyce Edwards touches, in my opinion. Like Joyce Edwards should have been more of a factor in this contest because she made the most of her touches. I don't think they did a good enough job getting her to basketball. They settled for a lot of tough shots, in my opinion. Chloe Kitts had moments in the first half, but she disappeared in the second half, in my opinion. Like when you're looking to get that production, there was a lack of entry passes. I think them trying to really get it to the post, and South Carolina really shot themselves out of this game, in my opinion. I think they really just shot themselves out of this game. It was effort. They shot themselves out of the game. I think Joyce Edwards should have got more touches. Chloe Kitts has got to be more aggressive and stop being so passive on shots. She did have one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life, though. Y'all remember that entry pass that was about to get stolen and Chloe Kitts tapped that mug to Joyce Edwards? That was such an elite play. Oh my goodness, that was that was next level, man. Like that was insane. Just seeing that, but yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it's just it was. I think execution. I think Texas did a good job of shrinking the floor, limiting transition points, not turning over the basketball, getting second chance opportunities, making the most of it. They used their size advantage when Fagan was on the bench. Edwards and Oldacre, or excuse me, Jones and Oldacre were definitely major differences in this contest for Texas, in my opinion. They were more physical. They were more aggressive. They came out and set the tone. Straight up. NC State held Tanaya Latson to 23 points today. I was looking at that game as a potential upset, but State locked her down. Yeah, and I tell you what, man, Isaiah James has been getting straight buckets for NC State, man. She's been playing really good basketball. Her and Zoe Brooks, like, shout out to both of them. But Laston definitely the best scorer in the country. Hannah Hidalgo had a big game today as well. They got a dub. But hey, the SEC is officially up for grabs. The SEC is up for grabs now, and that game against Kentucky just became major for South Carolina in their efforts to win this league's regular season title. I mean, you got Texas with one loss, Kentucky with one loss, LSU with one loss, depending on how this Tennessee game goes, and South Carolina with one loss. Man, what a game though! Like just from a pure basketball standpoint, other than like 38 fouls being called, like other than that, like this was a hell of a game. Like I was not disappointed. It went down to the wire. It went down to the wire now. Man, cause she wasn't out there doing nothing, Robert, in my opinion, man. Like this was a game Chloe Kitts should have absolutely took over, and I just don't think that she was locked in like she should have been. It's just being aggressive, hunting for your shot, using your mismatch. Like you got a slower, bigger opponent on you. You can shoot the basketball and you're not creating offense for yourself. But yeah, that hey Robert, that is a very keen observation though. Chloe Kitt's not in the game during crunch time. Bro, Ashley Jackson is so cold for Duke. They just beat the hell out of the Cavendish sisters in Miami. Guys, I will definitely have more content throughout the day, and y'all go check out the page. I got 2 videos up from earlier. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share. Join our memberships. We got exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. And follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV. Give me your final takeaways from this juggernaut of a matchup. Man, oh man. Bro, it's kids that have been at South Carolina for 3 or 4 years that have never seen this team lose a SEC battle. That's crazy. Like, this is an unfamiliar feeling. There are players on this team, majority of this roster basically have never, basically this entire roster, they've never lost an SEC game. All right, my peeps, my peeps. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. That is a wrap for us. Until next time, I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, your host. This is the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Much love to y'all. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Join our memberships as well. Exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Again, until next time. Much love, y'all. We out.